Welcome to This Explainer. You know, when we hear the term artificial intelligence, it's incredibly easy to picture like futuristic robots or these sprawling neon-lit sci-fi landscapes. But honestly, the reality is actually much closer to home. AI isn't just some crazy thing waiting for us in the distant future. It's the invisible engine silently shaping our daily routines. It's working right behind the scenes in the apps and services we use literally every single day.
And that brings up a really fascinating and, okay, maybe slightly unsettling question. Who is really making your digital choices? We all love to think we're in complete control of what we click on, what we watch, or what we buy. But as we'll uncover today, behind the scenes, complex algorithms are quietly mapping our brains. They're predicting our intent before we even finish typing and literally learning our physical habits. So here's our roadmap for today. We're going to look at 3 specific case studies of everyday AI. The invisible AI engine, mapping your Netflix tastes, the Netflix artwork illusion, how Google understands you, catching fraud in milliseconds, and wrap up with living with the algorithm. Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1, the invisible AI engine and those unseen data trails. Moving right along to Section 2, mapping your Netflix tastes. Time for some intense mathematics. Have you ever wondered how Netflix just seems to magically know exactly what you're in the mood to watch? Well, I promise you, it's definitely not magic. To peel back the curtain on this everyday digital black box, we really have to look at something called collaborative filtering. Basically, this is a system that predicts your preferences by matching you with similar users and analyzing your shared interactions. It's kind of like a massive automated matchmaking service, but instead of finding your soulmate, it's just finding someone who binge-watched the exact same obscure sci-fi show at 2 in the morning. Pretty wild, right? Now, what's really interesting about this is how it actually works visually. This is called a bipartite graph projection. Notice the users at the top, let's call them X, Y, and Z, and the movies they've interacted with down at the bottom. By mapping these connections, the AI doesn't just look at what you watched in isolation. It calculates the weighted similarities between you and everyone else. So if user X and user Y have highly correlated tastes, the system leverages those shared lines to push user X's absolute favorite unseen movies right over to user Y's homepage. All right, Section 3, the Netflix artwork illusion. Let's talk about visual personalization. But here is where it gets really crazy. Take a look at these 2 completely different customized thumbnails for the exact same movie, Good Will Hunting. The AI doesn't stop at just picking the movie for you, it actually personalizes the poster based on your unique viewing history. If you watch a lot of comedies, well, the AI pitches the movie to you using the poster on the right, featuring Robin Williams, a famous comedian. But if you're more into romantic films, you'll be shown the poster highlighting Matt Damon and Minnie Driver to emphasize the romance. The AI is literally tailoring the artwork to guarantee you'll click. However, research shows this personalization isn't exactly foolproof. It all hinges on a psychological concept called unfamiliarity. Now, there's positive unfamiliarity, where you see a newly customized poster, you find it fresh and intriguing, and your intention to watch goes way up. But then there is negative unfamiliarity. This happens when the AI changes a poster so drastically that the viewer feels alienated. They might look at it and think the movie is some cheap formula film, a weird remake, or a B-movie bait and switch. In those cases, changing the poster actually destroys their intention to watch. We see this play out perfectly with the massive hit movie Parasite. Researchers actually surveyed viewers and found that for highly famous movies, the original main theatrical poster actually drives the highest intention to watch. Why is that? Well, it boils down to the anchoring and primacy effects. Viewers already know the main poster from theaters and the internet. Notice how when the AI tried to get clever and show alternative posters focusing on a supporting actor or a specific genre, it actually drove down the viewer's desire to watch the film. For major blockbusters, that familiar anchor is almost always stronger than the AI's personalized trick. Let's move to and see how this builds in Section 4, how Google understands you. We're looking at search intent matching. So we are shifting from how AI entertains us to how it actually helps us find information in a vast sea of billions of web pages. Historically, the old way Google searched was pretty rigid. It relied on exact keyword matching. You typed a word, it scanned for that exact word, simple. But then came Google RankBrain, which was a machine learning algorithm that completely changed the game. Instead of just matching strings of text, RankBrain focuses on concept and intent matching based on linguistic similarity. It was a real game changer. In fact, it became so incredibly effective that it evolved into Google's 3rd most important ranking factor overall.
The true genius of RankBrain is how it processes never-before-seen queries. It takes the words you type and sorts them into vectors, which are basically mathematical representations that allow it to guess linguistic similarity and your true intent. It acts a lot like a cultural translator. For example, RankBrain understands context so deeply that it knows if someone searches for the word boot in the United States, they probably want footwear. But if that exact same query comes from the UK, the AI knows they might be looking for information about a car's trunk or storage space. It's deducing what you actually mean, not just reading what you wrote.
Moving on to Section 5, Catching Fraud in Milliseconds. Let's dive into AI transaction security. All right, so we've seen how AI guides our entertainment and our searches. Now we're moving from how AI guides our choices to how it silently protects our wallets. And to truly understand the stakes here, I want you to consider this staggering number: 1,200 crore rupees. That is the amount Indians lost to credit card fraud in the 2023 to 2024 period alone. Digital payment fraud is surging, and traditional, static, rule-based security systems simply cannot keep up with today's sophisticated scammers. They need something way faster and much, much smarter. And this brilliantly illustrates how the banking industry is fighting back. They're using something called behavioral biometrics. The AI isn't just looking at where you spend your money, it's looking at how you physically hold your device. I mean, it analyzes your exact typing speed and pressure, yes, even if you're aggressively tapping the screen out of frustration. It monitors the specific angle of your phone. It even tracks your unique navigation style and app browsing paths. These subtle, everyday physical habits are uniquely yours, like a digital fingerprint. And the absolute craziest part? All of this intense processing happens in the literal blink of an eye. I want to walk you through this mind-blowing 1 millisecond timeline. Step 1. You initiate a transaction, taking a mere 0.001 seconds. Step 2. In just 0.1 seconds, the AI rapidly analyzes over 200 invisible risk factors, including all those physical biometrics we just talked about. Step 3. By the half-second mark, the AI makes a definitive decision to approve or decline. Step 4. 1 second hits, and you are notified. It is an incredibly seamless security net, ensuring that the vast majority of fraudulent transactions are stopped cold before you even realize you were targeted. Which brings us to our final part. Section 6, Living with the Algorithm. What does an autonomous digital life look like? So we've explored 3 vastly different areas of our daily routines: entertainment, search, and security, just to see how massive the data trails we generate really are. So the crucial point is this: everyday AI is not magic. It is incredibly fast, highly sophisticated pattern recognition. It uses collaborative graphs to map our entertainment tastes. It uses RankBrain's vectors to anticipate our search intent. And it uses physical behavioral biometrics to secure our transactions in literal milliseconds. The whole shebang creates this invisible safety net, while simultaneously placing us in a highly tailored sales funnel. I want to leave you with this final, provocative thought. With all of these invisible algorithms constantly anticipating your needs, personalizing your visual options, and filtering the information you see, how much of your digital life is truly autonomous? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. I really hope this